Hello people, and the final block of JoJo Part 6 that I'm releasing, and I'm just here to talk about it. Now, this whole JoJo part has been extremely sad for me, and before I tell you why, let me just tell you one thing. I like the story of JoJo Part 6. I don't think the story is bad. I know there's a lot of people in the JoJo community who says that Part 6 is like one of the worst parts, which is something that I greatly disagree. I think Part 6 is a really good story, and as someone who read the manga before watching the anime, the Part 6 manga is still really good. Yeah, they do have some goofy fights and some really bad stands like Dragon Dream. That fight is absolutely bad. And they still do have some poopy moments, but let's be honest, all JoJo parts does. But I still think it's a very comfortable part, and it does have my favorite antagonist in JoJo, being Poochie. Yeah, I used to think Dio was my favorite, but especially reading the manga and seeing some of his scenes animated, Poochie has really grown on me on being my favorite antagonist in the series. So I think the story of Part 6 is amazing, but I think the reason why it's so bad is because of the animation. I know a lot of JoJo fans like to live off Culpian, and they're huffing it real hard saying that the animation hasn't got worse, but it significantly have. Something that I tell anyone who don't believe this is watch an episode of Part 6, any random episode, and just see how it's animated, see how it looks, and then go back and watch Part 5, and then go back and watch Part 4, and then go back and watch Part 3. You keep on going back even to Part 1, you can significantly see there's a downgrade. Now, I'm not going to go start pointed fingers. I know a lot of people are saying it's this guy's fault, it's this guy's fault, it's this company's fault. I don't know whose fault it is, and I'm not going to pretend to know, but the show does look significantly worse, and it truly does decrease the enjoyment of the show a lot, especially coming off from Part 5, which is easily the bestly animated JoJo part. Absolutely beautiful scenes in that. Part 6 doesn't really have that much. The show gives me a lot of whiplash, because sometimes, like, if someone is getting, like, beat up with, like, by a stand punch in Ghost, or, you know, when they do the JoJo things and punch people hard and scream, or that looks good, but that's literally it. Everything else in the show just looks extremely bad. It's very choppy and it's very like stop motion video. It really reminds me of Baki the Grappler, which if anyone watches Baki, this suffers from the exact same problem, where it really just decreased the value of the show. It is extremely sad, because some moments that I remember reading that I really want to get animated just looks absolutely bad. One of my favorite fights in Part 6 is when they fight to stand that bring cartoon characters and make them real. That's one of my favorite fight scenes in the manga, because I just think it's so funny. It's just such a unique ability, and I remember reading this, I just couldn't wait to get animated. And seeing that fight animated and seeing like how bad it was is just, it hurts my soul. It's very depressing to see how the show looks, and how it looks very bad and like choppy and cheap really makes me fearful for what they're gonna do with Part 7. Part 7 I very much enjoy, and I always wanted it to be animated, but now seeing what they did with Part 6, I'm very fearful to see what's gonna happen. Again, I don't know why it's so bad, but it's... And before I say it, I'm not saying it's bad because there's CG. I know there's a lot of people saying that this whole part's ruined because there's CG in it, and I know there's a lot of people where there's this big CG war if CG is good and bad. I generally don't care if you have CG. I just want it to look good. Like when Whitesnake out of nowhere randomly just turns CG, it just looks terrible. It's not good on the eyes. It hurts to see. And most of the show isn't even CG. Most of the time it's just 2D animated, but it's not really animated. Most fights just become these like stop motion images, and it just hurts. But it's not all bad. There are still some scenes of autumn anime which still does look good. Like them turn to the slugs. I think that still looked nice when everyone was turning to slugs. And the last episode also does look nice. But still, this whole experience of JoJo is very just, and I know this is like a word that people don't like hearing in the anime community because it's thrown around 24/7. It's just mid. It's a very mid experience to watch JoJo. But anyway, this is just something that I want to talk about. My name is Lua. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, do YouTube thing. I have a Twitter, Lose the Stars. Don't forget to follow it. You have a good day or night. See ya.